What's going on, people? Welcome back to another video. I'm your host, Michael Jordan. No, I don't play basketball. This one, man, talking about green flags. Green ones, not red ones. Green ones. I got my notes here off to the side. I might hold them in my hand because it's on my phone. Um, in this day and age, it seems as though that everybody's operating from the standpoint of I need to find all the red flags so I can get out as soon as possible. Now, fair if it works for some people, but for the majority of the people, it really doesn't work that way, because if you're constantly looking for bad things are all you're going to find. It's just how perception works. So, I don't want to talk about those. I want to talk about good ones. So let's get into it. All right, number one is they don't play mind games. So when you're dating this person and you realize that they're very clear on how they move and what they want, etc. So like how sometimes they'll say, oh, if you get her number, don't text her for 3 days, or they'll tell ladies, hey, don't text back immediately because it shows that you're desperate. Like, to me, all those things are cat and mouse, mind game nonsense that is not conducive to what you say that you want. Right? You say you want a relationship, etc., or you want to talk to the person, you want to hear from them, but then you don't call or you don't text them. How does that make sense? And they're like, oh, don't ever double text. I double text. I reply immediately to the people that I actually want to speak to. And then, if you listen to this and you realize, well, Mike doesn't reply immediately. On the priority list, replying to you maybe is not as important to me, but to the people that are very important to me, I reply. As long as I see it immediately, I reply immediately. Takes nothing off me, man. Like, I'm interested. I want you. Damn, I'm not gonna play these cat and mouse games and do all this kind of stuff. I'm not doing that, man. Don't do that. So if you come across somebody who's, they just act in a way that they want you and they're interested and they're willing to speak to you, or they want to speak to you, etc., etc., it's a green flag, man. None of this, none of that. That's nonsense, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. That mental rubbish. Number two, a good work-life balance. So everybody's hustling these days. Everybody has 1,000 hustles and side hustles and sub-side hustles and all these different things because everybody wants to get to the bag. So then what happens is that the person that you're interested in, or your significant other, feels a little neglected because you don't ever make time for them. But if you come across somebody who makes time for you, regardless of how busy their schedule, and especially if you can see, well, hey, this person is doing 1,000 different things, but they always find an hour or two for me a day, or they find a 1 day for us to be together and do things in one particular day, that's a good thing. That's a green flag, because they're carving out time for you. They're making an effort to add you to their day. You understand? As opposed to saying, oh, I was really busy and I couldn't do it. And sometimes you're really busy and you can't do it, but that's when you schedule. And scheduling is not a bad thing. Hey, Thursday, I'm all yours. But Monday through Wednesday and then Friday and Saturday, I can't do it. Thursday, I'm yours for sure. Boom. These things aren't bad. If you come across somebody that do these things for you, that person is really trying, and that's a major green flag. Trust me. Because, my days, they can get long sometimes, but I always try to even find a little bit of time in my day to, check in and say, hey, how's it going in the evenings. I try to call. I don't really like being on the phone, but I try to call sometimes. I make sure that I'm, just checking in constantly, really and truly, because I want to speak to her. So I check in and I speak to her. So yeah, that's a major green flag. That's number two. Number three is communicating effectively. Now, we all heard that communication is the key, but comprehension is the door. So, in order for you to understand what your significant other or the person that you're dating is saying, one, you got to be open, but on their end, they need to be able to communicate effectively. They need to be able to say things without an abundance of emotion in what they're saying. Trust me, you can be super emotional and still convey what you're saying clearly, because an abundance of emotion usually means it's a little muddy, and sometimes it can come out in a way where it's hurtful to the other person, or maybe they just clearly don't understand because you're rambling, etc. So communicating effectively and saying what you actually mean without hurting or shaming or putting down or any of these other things, and making sure that they understand what you're saying. And don't get me wrong, sometimes it just won't get it. Sometimes, even though they're saying it in a non-malicious way, it might still hurt the person. That's completely fine. But if you come across somebody who, when you speak to them, you're like, okay, he's communicating something that makes him angry, but he isn't shouting, he isn't like, and things like that, you gotta appreciate that. And that's a major green flag, because you can talk all day and not say a damn thing. Plain and simple. I've come across people who say a lot of words, but they don't actually say anything. And it's like, oh my God, can you stop? And then even if they had a point in there, it's disregarded because it's, word vomit. So communicating effectively is something that you should really and truly look out for. If somebody can convey their emotions or their intent clearly so that you understand what they're saying, major green flag, man. Major green flag. Unconditional effort. This is me. This is something that I have tried, and I know a lot of people can be like, what? Unconditional effort? Hear me out, right? So I hear a lot of people say, oh, you have to match my energy, etc., and things like that. And as abrasive as I am, when I hear people say these things to other people, or I hear about people saying these things, I'm like, they're not going to. Simply because you said it like that. They're not going to. And again, I am very abrasive at times. But, the things that I say, they're not malicious. So what I have practiced, especially with my current lady, is that I decided to open up the castle doors and say, hey, all right, birds, damn. Say, hey, come on in. No fee. Just come in. It's fine. It's all right. And that has then inspired her to open up. It's not a case where I'm not going to open up unless you open up, or I'm not going to do this unless you do this. It's more like, hey, I'm willing to do these things, and I'm going to do these things. I am doing these things. And it inspires people to meet you there, as opposed to saying, nah, you got to match my energy. Well, what energy if all you're doing is standing there waiting for them to do something? That's not conducive to what you say you want. If you want an actual relationship and you want to, have that partnership, you're going to have to make moves. You're going to have to do things. And then, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying to go above and beyond for a person that literally does nothing for you. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you have to start somewhere. You have to start giving in order for that person to meet you. Some people are going to take longer than others, so patience is required, and that's the next point. And also, clarity is required, because you can tell when somebody is using you as opposed to somebody who is cautious or somebody who's trying to meet you there. You can tell. We see it. We can see it. It's just a lot of times that we choose not to see it, but you can tell. All right. And if you got decent friends, they will tell you, right? They will tell you that, hey, this person is using you. You know that, right? So outside of that, you have to do something in order for that person to feel inspired to meet you there. And not in all cases. Sometimes you both just start putting in the same amount of effort. But if sometimes you realize, well, this person is feeling me, but they aren't really, they're still kind of hesitant, just go in, man. Just say, hey, I'm sure you've had a conversation where you're like, you know what, I always do these things for my ladies, or I always do these things for my guys. Start doing it. Don't wait until to do it, or wait until this person does that, or that person does this, or until you're completely in love, 8 months down the line to then decide that you want to. No, just do it. Just do that effort without the requirement of that person to do something for you to do it. And that's just me. I personally, it worked for me because my lady's not the most open person, and that's fine. But after I made that effort to say, hey, you can come right into the castle, you can walk around, touch the statue, don't steal nothing, but you can come in. She realized that, hey, this guy is really trying, he's being serious about his intent and etc. Let me meet him there. Sometimes it needs a conversation. Hey, I need you to meet me here. Sometimes. But you can't say that without doing anything at all. Well, last point. I got 2 more points, but I'm going to wrap it up at patience, man. Patience. And I'm going to add on understanding as well. So somebody who is patient and understanding, look out for that. That's a really good thing. Because not a lot of people are patient and not a lot of people are understanding. People are, especially these days, people are looking to get out as soon as possible. If you've come across somebody saying, hey, I am willing to take the time for us to get where we want to go, and I understand it might take a while, I understand that you might be fearful, I understand, etc. I'm willing to put that effort in and that time in and have that patience for us to get there. And I can assure you that that will be appreciated greatly. I'm telling you. So when you come across somebody who's patient and understanding, that's a major green flag. I assure you. Pay attention to that, because that person is going to make you feel differently. Trust me. So this is just a few of my green flags. If you feeling them, let me know. If you say, oh, well, this is a crock of shit, let me know. Put it in the comments. Put some of your green flags in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Like the video so the YouTubes can say, well, hey, people like this. Show other people this stuff. You never know. Might help somebody. Might help one person. And if it helps one person, hey, I've done my job. That's it. I've been your host, Michael Jordan. No, I don't play basketball. And I'm out.